Attack of the Show viewers, I'd like to take a moment to be serious, if you don't mind. Today, you all have the chance to make a change, to empty prisons of non-criminals, to allow greater personal and economic freedom, and to alter the direction of America's failed second prohibition movement. Californians, I'm speaking to you directly. It's time to stand up for reason and sensibility. Please vote yes on Prop 19 to end government intrusion.
Kevin.
Allison, I'm trying to get the vote out here. Please.
No. Kevin. Election day was yesterday. Prop 19 lost.
Attack of the Show. Attack.
Oh, yeah, hey! Welcome to Attack of the Show, everybody. I'm Kevin Pereira, and you smoke them if you got them. Just do it.
And I'm Allison Hayslip, what he said.
Thank you. Coming up on the show, Kay Powers. Yes. Kenny effing Powers. Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down will be here live, and we're going to hunt for spoilers about this Sunday's finale and where the show might go for season trace. Then, today's loop will sift through the ashes of Prop 19. The effort to legalize weed. It's illegal?
Allegedly.
Had its mellow harshed by voters in California, and we'll tell you why the battle may be lost, but the war is far from over. Go get pot if you want it.
And today's Gadget Problem teams up with Chris Hardwick as the new HTC Surround.
Yeah!
7.
Yeah!
Wait a minute, here are the stats.
Whoa, give them.
Screen, 3.8 inches. Megapixels, 5. Gig, 16. Charisma, 14.
Oh, good high scores on charisma.
And later in the hour, we've got an AOTS exclusive trailer for Zack Snyder's next movie, Sucker Punch. But I say we go around the net.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like the new bread and circuses.
Were we trying to put my parents on the show there?
I don't know. Is that what the lights were
Cameras
for?
spun around and things lit up and
Things happen in the studio.
My parents are here today, by the way.
Hey,
everyone.
parents!
That's why I'm so happy. And they're so happy to be on the show right now.
Just wafting with pride and enthusiasm.
I know. We now officially have had my parents on the show. My grandmother was on a Tech News Countdown, and my cousin was on a show too. The Hayslips are taking over.
I want to get your therapist in the loop. I just have a couple questions. Just a couple questions.
That would be a really long move.
Well, hi, Hayslips. Thanks for coming. Now let's do this around the net thing.
All right, we'll start. Subway prides itself as the healthy fast food chain.
It does. And while their menu may actually be sensible, the customers are out of their minds.
And one must tell it. It's great. Walk away. Walk away. I'm at the punch. Walk away. I don't care. Get him, get him, somebody was telling me that he was involved in a terrorist.
Jared looking good. Even electrocuted.
I don't know. If he didn't like his footlong at Subway, wait until he sees the one that's waiting for him down at County.
Oh, right there. Did someone just yell BAMF from the audience?
They should have.
BAMF!
You don't get your choice of bread there.
That's what it sounds like.
And the cold cut trio, not as friendly.
Trio.
If you're lucky, it's only a trio. In at number 4 today, we have a new clip from the brilliant mind of Lego Lambs. He's the YouTube user that gets his kicks from repurposing vintage Arnold Schwarzenegger films into brand new Broadway-style musicals.
So today he brings the gift of song to the Governator's ultra-violent 1985 action classic, Commando.
Yes.
We were going to build a normal life here, a carefree existence of laughter and play. But General Kirby, he led them right to us, and then the bastards took her away. You have to help they took my Jenny. You give me a lift and we follow the trail. We start to do some last minute shopping. So many good ones, not easy to choose. We borrow this plane and we fly to the island. Or hell is about to break loose. Jenny and me. Jenny and me. Jenny and me.
Yes! One of my favorite movies from the 80s.
Of course.
Oh, it totally is. Commando, when you boil it down, it's really just a love story between a daughter and her gigantic cyborg father. That's all it really is. At heart, and I love it for it.
He's not a Terminator in that film, Kevin.
He's the same character in every movie. Except for Junior. He was a pregnant man in that one, but we'll let that slide. We'll let that. Oh, Junior.
What about twins? Are you
Junior
okay with
was
that
the
one?
twins of twins. You know, like, not good.
Right. Man. All right. Fainting goat syndrome in cats is an extremely rare condition that affects their muscle movement. So when they hear a loud sound, they fall over.
Yes, and they land on the internet, where they're punched up with After Effects and they rack up thousands of adorably weird hits.
That makes me a little sad.
It makes you happy, admit it. So I don't know how that works. I guess those cats, they had sex with a goat that had fainting syndrome? I don't know how that...
No, it's not an STD.
You seem to know a lot about fainting goat syndrome, Allison.
Oops.
Computers! You guys have heard of those things, right? Yeah. No, if you're aware, they're good at the maths, but they can do amazing things, those computers.
They can. This is not one of them.
How are you?
Llama face!
Yeah. If you've never taken salvia, also, worst dating profile ever. No thanks.
I mean, if she opens GarageBand, she might kill herself.
And if I have to hear that laugh again, I will kill myself, to be honest. But still ahead, folks, hold your nose. Today's number one is coming up. And it's a doozy.
Been warned.
It involves a bus.
What?
It's going to be Judge Gray. Would you like me to? He's ready to go? Yeah, okay, yeah, well,
Ask them if they still need a copy of my book or not.
do you still need a copy of his book or not?
No problem.
That's awesome. Dude, I cannot.
Rather get him in the chair, and if there's any problems, if we button up.
You can, if you drop a C-bomb, though, it'll make it through. I guarantee it. Just one or two would be great. And I think Sean went over the interview with you. It's pretty straightforward, but if we go off the card, if you're okay with it, I'm totally fine.
Yeah, whatever you want to.
Awesome. Do you have any honeymoon tales?
Yeah, if it starts popping out, let me know. I'll put a bigger size in it. This is your volume controller, okay?
I heard him before, but now I don't hear anything.
Yeah, they'll come back here.
No, I got
Okay,
you.
guys, you ready to do a test if you want? And you guys want 16.9, correct?
This is Judge Gray. Do you need me to speak? Yes, I
Sure.
can. Scott.
What's his name?
Check, check, check. Hello, are you there? Judge Gray? Mic check for Judge Gray.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Judge Gray, how are you? This is Kevin from Attack of the Show.
Hi, Kevin. I'm great.
Thank you so much for coming back on the program. We really appreciate it.
Good. Happy to be involved.
Bummer about Prop 19, but are you in high spirits about it, just out of curiosity?
Well, I'd prefer that we got a few more votes, but
Right.
it really came out as a very positive situation, so I'm not unhappy, let's put it that way.
Good, good. I know I'm going to ask you this when we're live, but I am just curious what your answer will be. In 2 years' time, do you think we're going to see another measure that tries to tackle this, or do you think...
I think that the odds are overwhelming that we will.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. And what will they need to do right this time? I mean, outspending 10 to 1 is great, but the numbers, I mean, 3 million is barely enough. Oh, are they cutting us off? Oh, Judge, I'm sorry, they're cutting the mic here. We'll be chatting live in a couple
fine.
minutes. Sorry,
Not
thank
a
you so
problem.
much.
Ohio's Fox 8 News.
Yeah, it seems a local lad has gotten into some hot water over something he did on the school bus. Yeah.
And since this is a news report from Ohio, you know it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
11-year-old Christian Summers thinks playing video games is fun. According to a school bus driver, he also thinks passing gas is fun. She didn't find his flatulence so funny.
She's like, I'm going to sign you up. I'm going to sign you up. And I was like, it was an accident.
And for letting it rip on the ride home, Christian was slapped with an hour of detention at the Rowe Park Elementary, which is part of the Parma City School District.
Normal reaction is to giggle about it, and everybody else is, you know.
We laugh when it happens.
Christian now fears his flatulence. If he's caught passing gas on the bus again, he could get 4 or 5 days of detention.
Depends on how much more gas he has.
No, that's absurd. I'm sorry, farting on a school bus is as American as farting at a ball game. Or drinking a beer and then farting on your friend.
I obviously have no idea what you're talking about because girls don't fart.
No.
Never.
How can they put that young hero in detention, okay? You know what, you can put him in detention, but you can never take his freedom! Actually, USA!
Kevin,
USA!
detention is exactly that, taking away your freedom.
Nevertheless, here with a special tribute, award-winning performing artist, Ted Pillman, everybody.
Thanks, Devin. Thanks, Devin. This one's dedicated to Christian Summers. I got a busload of fart, and I'm gonna pass them to you. Got a busload of fart, and I don't mean a few. It's rat-a-tat-tat in the morning. It's rat-a-tat-tat at night. Sometimes they're silent and deadly, and the crowds disperse way out of sight. I got a busload of farts. You'll say, oh, for God's sake. I got a busload of farts, and it isn't a fake. I'm passing wind all of the time. You better beware. I tell you that I'm loaded with a busload of farts.
3 days in the desert. It was hot. I thought I was the last one alive. But there, in the distance, I found what I was searching for.
Wasteland Weekend.
Straight out of the Mad Max movies, the Wasteland Weekend is a 3-day post-apocalyptic party that brings together hundreds of Mad Max fanatics, replica vehicles, and firefights. What are we doing here this weekend?
Well, we're celebrating the post-apocalypse here. It's been sort of an evolution. I think the first Mad Max event was out in Australia. Back in 2004, I decided to get Mad Max fans together. We got an event together last year. It did well, and so we're coming back and we're doing it again.
Tell me about the logistics involved with putting something like this together.
You know, it's a little bit of a nightmare. It's a lot of work. I mean, we started setting up a day and a half ahead of time out here, and that's the neatest thing about this event is everybody brings something. And this event is made by the volunteers.
Your car is gorgeous. Tell me about this thing.
This is an Australian Ford Falcon made up as a Mad Max Interceptor. This one is made up like the first movie. So unlike the Road Warrior with the fuel tanks and all that, this is pretty much how it came from the police department, MFP. It features a on-off supercharger, a custom body kit, side pipe, zoomy pipes, and then I have, of course, the shotgun and the wardrobe.
I'm looking for a ride here, so can I try? I don't have much, but can I trade you something, or we?
No.
No Mad Max party is complete without a little game of Jugger, where you have to move the skull down the field without getting your ass kicked.
So after a lot of bartering, I got what I needed now. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts.
As the desert sun sets, the post-apocalyptic party heats up, complete with pyrotechnics and industrial beats.
Fire breathing is the process of breathing fire, so the big 12 to 30-foot plumes that come out of people's mouth. In terms of fire performance, it's integrative of art and dance using a flame effect.
It's like 1 degree outside, I'm freezing. These things gave me a rash. I'm going to bed.
Between the costumes, the craziness, and the massive amounts of exhaust, I am so glad that Wasteland Weekend only happens once a year.
Yeah, I highly doubt this is street legal.
Still ahead! California tried to pass common sense marijuana laws, but the state is still crazy. Baloo will explain things a little bit better.
And later, Danny friggin' McBride will be here to talk about where Eastbound and Down is headed. I'm already too excited for this interview. Stick around, it's gonna be a huge show. Caprica.
Talk to Judge Gray.
Oh, Judge, are you there? Judge Gray?
Yes, I am.
Hey, fantastic. We're just testing mics here. If you can still hear me, then I think we're good to go in just a couple minutes.
All right, you got
Great.
it.
Thank you again.
Sure.
I said we could do, since
Why you want to? It's Wednesday, November 3rd, and here are your top stories. Yesterday was a bad night for herbal remedy enthusiasts. Yes, we canna, but not.
Oh, come on!
California's Prop 19, which aimed to legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana for recreational use in the state, was rejected by voters 54 to 46%. Unfortunately, despite the get out the vote effort, older voters more prone to voting against drug reform outnumbered younger ones 3-1 at the polls. And while marijuana initiatives failed across the board in California, Oregon, South Dakota, and Arizona, the issue has moved far from the fringe of politics to the national spotlight, and we're going to have more in today's Loop. Finally, SEMA 2010 is in full gear in Las Vegas, and there's plenty of automotive eye candy to go around. Some major notables are Ford's newly unveiled Stealth Police Interceptor and the retro-built Shelby GT 500, which packs a brand new Chevy drivetrain underneath a classic Shelby body. My personal favorite, however, is the Tundra Sportsman Project, a collaboration between Toyota and Bass Pro Shops that's more suitable for all you zombie apocalypse needs out there, with driver's side firearm storage and an elevated platform perfect for picking off the undead. Or if you're just from Texas like me, that's how we roll. I'm Kristen Adams, and you've just been fed.
All right, it's time to find out what Prop 19's demise means for Your Highness. It's The Loop. Joining me now via satellite to help us make sense of it all, retired Judge James P. Gray, author of A Voter's Handbook, Effective Solutions to America's Problems. Yes, welcome Judge Gray, everybody. Judge Gray, thanks for joining us again in The Loop. We appreciate it.
Certainly welcome. It's nice to be with you, and I got to beg to differ. It's not the demise, it may be a postponement.
Well, that is true, and it's an important distinction to make, yet I'm still wondering how on earth it became postponed. I mean, it seemed that the arguments were, hey, look, California's in dire straits, the tax money's there, war against the Mexican drug cartel, members of key law enforcement were for it. It seemed like everything was stacked in marijuana's favor, plus the fact that Funyuns are 10 times better on it. How on earth did this legalization fail?
I understand. Basically, the other side, and there were several groups of them, came out with some things that scared people. It was done intentionally. They came out with some mistruths, some really kind of picky reading, and there are ambiguities in anything. And when it came down to it, it is change that some people, I guess, when it came time to pull in the lever, had some problem with the change. But we really did quite well, and in fact, I'm convinced that we won the election, and we did postpone the implementation. But we legitimized the discussion, which is really all we need to do about this whole area, because what we're doing now cannot stand the light of day. It was a main stage discussion in the state of California, main stage in the nation and internationally. It's just a question of time.
But Judge Gray, with all due respect, some would say that it was a main stage failure. It was a main stage proof that you know, Californians, potentially this country, aren't ready for this legislation. And I'm wondering who exactly was against it? Who has interest in keeping it illegal?
Well, there were some really straightforward ones. The beer industry, for example, donated $10,000 to the campaign against it, and they have obvious selfish interests involved with that. Honestly, some of the medical marijuana dispensary people donated money against it because they were concerned that they would lose their market share, and they were probably right. People act in their own economic self-interest. There was the State Chamber of Commerce, who has backed a lot of positions that really are not mainstream and the rest, and they're really the ones who put out a whole bunch of disinformation. But it will take a little while. But I tell you, in the next 2 years, and I think that the odds are overwhelming that there'll be another initiative on the ballot in 2012, people will look at the news differently now. They'll look at this bloodletting going on in Mexico, and it's not going to get better. It's coming over into the United States, and that will continue. They will look at these juvenile gangs that are enriching themselves by the sale of illegal marijuana, such that they're using it as recruiting tools to bring more children into this whole lifestyle of drug usage and drug selling that I've seen in juvenile court a lot.
Well, see, Judge Gray, that's an interesting point, because a lot of the opponents seem to say, what about the children, as opposed to, using that as an argument. I mean, we've all seen the reefer madnesses of the world, but I didn't see any fear-mongering on that level here. What were they saying about the bill that was putting fear into the voters?
People don't concentrate on the drug money, the illegal drug money. And I would say during the campaign that, it's a nice side benefit to be able to tax it and bring in money to the government. But the bigger thing is to keep the juvenile gangs from enticing our children into this. And besides, today, and you can talk to kids as much as I can, it's easier for people under the age of 21 to get marijuana than it is alcohol, because the alcohol, at least they ask for ID and they regulate and control it. So people will begin to discuss this, and that will not go away. And we're going to force the issue in 2012. A lot of hypocrisy going on. For example, President Obama, and I read his 2 books, would it have helped his career to have been put in jail for 30, 60, 90 days for his use of cocaine or marijuana?
Oh, I'm sure the Republicans wouldn't have brought that up when he was running. I'm sure they would have let that slide. But when this comes up again in 2 years, Judge Gray, what does the pro side need to do differently? Where do they need to focus their argument? I mean, they outspent. It was $3.8 million to $300,000, and yet they were still unable to push this through. So 2 years from now, what do they need to do?
Well, we need to simplify. This was a very long initiative because we were trying to close all the doors, and some of those doors really didn't need to be closed. So we need just to bring it much more simplified, probably on a statewide level, to say that the laws prohibiting adults from using or smoking or possessing marijuana within certain circumstances are hereby repealed, and allow the state to oversee some form of a umbrella system to regulate and control alcohol. That was the primary source roars of opposition, even from chiefs of police in debates that I was involved with. They would say to me privately, as well as on camera, I don't have any problem with regulating and controlling marijuana. I just don't like Prop 19 for this, that, and the other reason. So that's where we need to go. And
we're going 2 years to figure it out, and we thank you for the support, and we thank you for helping raise awareness of it. And hopefully in 2012, we're having a much different discussion about this issue on our show.
Stay tuned. It's going to happen.
Judge James P. Gray, everybody, thank you for joining us and keeping us in the loop. Right now, we got to pass the show over to Allison.
Thanks. Let's see if director Danny Boyle and James Franco will cut off their arms to escape talking to Blair Herter about 127 hours.
Have you ever been stuck between a rock and a hard place? James Franco has. In 127 hours, he plays Aaron Ralston, a mountain climber who gets his arm trapped by a boulder and resorts to extraordinary measures to free himself.
This marks 24 hours of being stuck.
Thank you guys both for making me feel like such a giant vagina. I left that movie thinking, God, you suck. You could never do anything that significant in your life.
One of the things I learned doing the film is that although people often view this, I can never do that. In fact, everybody would do it. And if you didn't have a knife, you'd use your teeth. And actually, he leaves something behind in the canyon, but he comes out a much bigger person.
Mom, Dad, I haven't appreciated you as I know that I could. I love you guys, and I'll always be with you.
How do you, as an actor, put people in that position where they can truly relate to what exactly happened with him?
The experience we want is to, make them think, I guess he was a superhero, but now he's been grounded, he's been stripped of everything that he's taken for granted in his life, and he really just has to face himself in this situation.
What's the challenge with adapting this for the screen?
One of the challenges, of course, is that there isn't a single person in the world who goes into that film and they don't know what happened. Everybody knows before they walk in that he chops his arm off. So that's a challenge. And the idea is that somehow you make it such an intense and visceral experience that they forget. They're living it moment by moment with that character down the canyon. So they actually forget that he gets out.
Don't give up, Aaron. Do not give up.
Better supporting actor in a movie like this, the camcorder from 127 Hours, or Wilson the volleyball from Castaway?
My video camera, what was it called? What was the brand?
Canon Allura.
The Allura, yeah, that's right.
Lovely name. It's much better than
It's
Wilson.
not just a character, it's actually an incredible device that enables the character to talk directly to the audience without breaking the fourth wall. And so you don't have to rely on a theatrical convention. It's built in there.
And Canon now owes you guys 10% of all holiday sales this year because of that right there.
I have about 150 milliliters of water left, which should keep me alive till tomorrow night.
Gut-wrenching and bone-crushing. 127 hours will test your manhood. See if you can hang by not looking away.
Let's prevent buyer's remorse, shall we? It's Gadgetron. Welcome back, Chris Hardwick.
Hey,
and your
everybody.
Mustache. Hi.
Yeah, I know.
Hi.
I knew Danny McBride was going to be on the show today, so I had to have a kick-ass mustache to make him feel right at home. Ladies.
Okay, but Chris, you actually brought the phone, right?
Oh, yeah, this, yeah.
Okay.
Windows Phone 7 is landed, and we get our first look with the HTC Surround. Sporting a 3.8-inch touchscreen and Microsoft's new OS, you'll get tons of apps in the marketplace, document editing with Office, and even Xbox Live games. Plus, to complete the experience, slide out the speakers for virtual surround sound from Dolby. A 5-megapixel camera and 16 gigs of storage also comes standard for $200 with a contract.
All right, the Surround is a little thicker and heavier
Just like
than
my
we're used to.
mustache.
I'm going to ignore that. Why are we letting him do this?
What? Keep going. I'm just going to lick my mustache.
All right. Oh, God. Gross. All right. So it's got this, it's thicker and heavier because it has a slide-out speaker, the Yamaha speakers right there. Bamf.
Yeah.
So do you think it is worth the extra heft?
I mean, it's an interesting thing for them to do to make that to make the slide out a speaker. I mean,
Right.
it's nice. They're loud. They sound better than most phone speakers. I'll give them that. Pressing the button gives you the quote unquote surround sound, but I mean that's a phone. It's not amazing. I think we'd almost rather have a slide out keyboard.
Oh, imagine that.
Rather than a soundboard, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so how's the rest of the design, like the kickstand and the screen? Wait, here's the kickstand.
Really good. The kickstand, genius.
Yeah.
The kickstand alone with the speakers makes it a tiny little home theater system that you can.
Oh, it's adorable.
Listen, if you're sitting a bunch of meerkats, you can just put this in front of them and they'll watch it for hours. The screen is also big and bright, but it just doesn't have the resolution of the iPhone or the vivid colors of the Samsung Galaxy phones. But it's fine.
I just realized we're watching the parkour video on the office.
We were watching
that
parkour?
was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first time we've really gotten to use the latest version of Windows Mobile at length because Microsoft gave it a complete reboot. So what are the initial impressions?
I would like to tell you, Allison Hayslip.
Oh, thank you.
We liked it a lot. The menu system is immediately intuitive. It's very well laid out, and overall, it has a gorgeous look to it. It's very arty. It looks like a really great blog you'd want to visit. You might have to scroll or swipe a little bit to get to the item you want, but Microsoft made it so you don't have to keep diving into menus, which is genius. The touchscreen keyboard is also just as good as any other phone we've tested. Haptic feedback is great. I mean, they did a really nice job with it.
That's fantastic. Okay, now we all know I have a Droid and it's incredibly customizable. So does this have the same level of customization as an Android?
Not quite. It's a little more similar to iOS. I mean, you can pin apps, contacts, other items to your start menu. So, that way when you press your Windows button, it's all right there at a glance. But then again, keep in mind, the more items you pin, the less the start menu starts to look organized. And so you just have to be careful. You don't want to suffer from, trying to oversimplify it by adding everything there.
Like your desktop or something.
Right.
All right, but it does have a 1 gigahertz processor. So is it just as fast as the other smartphones?
Yes, it is, Allison Hayslip.
Fantastic.
It really is. Launching apps is super quick. It easily compares to the iPhone and the Droid. The interface itself feels just as fast. And the touchscreen, I have to say, it is as smooth and sensitive as the iPhone, which is a very hard feel to accomplish. It is even more sensitive than the Android. And there's background multitasking. There's no way to switch between tasks, so that's a little confusing to me. But otherwise, I mean, technically you can multitask.
Right, and being as sensitive as the iPhone, it actually feels more sturdy.
Yeah.
I think too. I don't feel like
being
I'm
as sensitive, like the iPhone. The iPhone would go to a party and start playing songs about his ex-girlfriend, right? That kind of sensitive. Joe lies.
What?
It's Say Anything is a great classic comedy movie.
That is true. Never seen it. Now, since Windows Mobile is completely redesigned, that means that all the features have been redesigned, like Internet Explorer,
Yes.
thank goodness. So is it as good as we expect?
Almost. It's quick to load. I don't know what that reaction was. It's quick to load most pages, supports pinch and zoom. You can even pin your favorite pages to the start menu. There's no flash support yet, but we do know that they are working on it, like everyone.
Now, this is my favorite part. You can play Xbox Live games right on your phone. So is it as cool as it sounds?
Of course it is. Yes. Of course it's as cool as it sounds.
Peggle, right here.
Playing titles like The Sims 3, Earthworm Jim are really cool. You can actually unlock achievements. You can play against another player that is, all right, I want you to grip your bits for this one. You can play against someone who's playing on an actual Xbox.
What? No.
I know.
What?
Kevin just threw up a lung. You can hear him right there. You can also check out your friends list and change your avatar on your phone. Loading times are long, but listen, it's a first-gen thing. We think it's worth it.
Okay, so are the other features like the app marketplace and the camera up to snuff as well?
Yeah, for the most part they are. The marketplace will launch with over 1,000 apps. We're still waiting for the premier ones like Angry Birds or Evernote. I'm sure those companies are waiting to see if anyone buys this phone.
Right.
But I'm sure Microsoft is working on that. The camera's not the best. I mean, pictures looked a little dark even with the flash on. Oh, sad Brian. Recording HD video also had a little trouble focusing, but it syncs with Zune software, so you can get all your music and your videos from that Zune marketplace we all have. 16 gigs of storage, but there's no micro SD expansion, so 16 gigs of storage is it.
Yeah, interesting. All right, now it's available for $200 with a contract on November 8th.
Yeah.
So what are we rating it at that price?
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Wow. I got to tell you, if it had been $100 cheaper and if they had more apps in the store, I know they've reached out to about 12,000 developers. If we were at that point, I probably would have given it a 5. I think they did an amazing job. Some people say it might be a little late to enter the smartphone game, but I think that Microsoft has the money to stick it out, and hopefully they do because they did a really nice job. This reboot of Windows Mobile is incredible, and we're very excited to see where it goes from here. So that's my review.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris Hardwick.
Thank you,
your
Allison
mustache.
Hayslip. Thank you.
Let's go over to Kevin.
You guys rock! Immediately following the show at 8 p.m., Campus PD celebrates spring break. Guess what? Kids drink, and then they choke on beer. Then dry yourself off, because that's tough. Airs at 8:30, and there goes your night. But stay tuned. The AOTS exclusive trailer for Sucker Punch is coming right up after the break, and Danny McBride will be here. So you stick around, because he is all man. The feed is brought to you by Doritos. Folks, the fat lady's warming up for Eastbound and Down's Mexican adventure, and it's muy caliente.
I left my country to begin a new life, one where I could finally blend with those I was living amongst, just another face in the crowd. Soon I was embraced by the natives. The wild landscape became my mistress.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danny McBride is here! Thanks for having me on. Thank you for coming on, sir. I will say it again, no hyperbole. Eastbound and Down is one of my favorite shows on the animated television box.
I'm glad you dig it.
I enjoy the flickering imagery coming out of your time slot. It is amazing to me. And I appreciate you coming here. Not only did you just get back from a honeymoon, but you come back, Prop 19 is defeated. All your fans must be disappointed.
Very, very furious, yeah.
You landed to the bad news. Are you taking it well?
I'm taking it okay. I'm trying to find ways to self-medicate myself. You know what I mean? We'll see, yeah.
I guess we'll have to go back to the medicinal weed instead of the legal weed, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Again, a huge fan of Eastbound and Down, and I wonder, I mean, I know I'm a fan, and I'm messed in the head. Other fans that you meet on the street, are they constantly like offering you cocaine and asking you to motorboat their wives, or how does
those are the perks that go along with the show for sure. You never have to buy cocaine, or you can motorboat guys' wives. It's a wide spectrum of people who like the show. It can be anything from like some drunk frat guy to like I met this elderly couple the other day that actually told me they were big fans of the show, which was nuts.
They were drunk as well, though, right?
They were wasted. They were motorboating each other the whole time. Yeah. We love the show.
leaning over in their rascals with their oxygen tubes and just getting in there. Did you see them on your honeymoon? Where were you?
I did.
Were you at the Jersey Shore?
I was at the Jersey Shore. That's where I got this glorious tan. We spent our whole honeymoon just in a tanning salon. We just we laid there. Yeah, I just got married and I went to
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. Locked and loaded.
Done.
It's real. I literally can't get this off. It went on one time and it stuck. But we went to Bora Bora for our honeymoon. We got back yesterday. And then
and the elderly couple was in Bora Bora. They were fans,
they were in the airport. Yeah, and they came to me and said they loved the show. They watch it. They introduce it to their grandkids, which is cool.
that's
their grandkids are 5 and 6. So it's perfect.
They're trick or treating as Kenny Powers.
Perfect, yes.
Oh, that's rough. I love your dedication to the character too. I know your method that you actually did acquire a cocaine addiction, and did you participate in cockfighting to prepare for the role? Or?
We did. We shot this. It's actually not shot in Mexico. It's shot in Puerto Rico, and we went down to Puerto Rico to scout it out. And we had no idea that cockfighting was legal down there.
Oh, I didn't know it was legal.
Yeah, it's legal down there, and there's like the ring we shot in is like a real ring where they have cockfights, and it's organized. There's little boards where like you can make your bets, and there's actually like a bar and a restaurant. They serve chicken tenders at the bar. The loser
scraps right there.
But we were asked if we wanted to go check it out, and Jody Hill, the other creator, and myself, we wussed out. We didn't want to go see it. Like we got there and like started seeing it, all like this is a little intense.
Just follow the little trail of rooster tears all the way to the back.
Oh, when we got there was like I guess a match had just ended. There were just like feathers and blood everywhere. It was disgusting. Yeah,
phenomenal. Good B-roll though.
Yeah, good B-roll.
Saves you cost.
Yeah.
The similarities between you and Kenny Powers. I joke about you being method, but he's not much of a techie. I saw his montage that was cut on the old VHS camcorder in season 1. Powerful montage.
Very powerful.
But you're a bit of a techie, a nerd at heart?
I'm a bit of a nerd at heart. Kenny Powers is not. He doesn't like anything to do with technology, but yet he knows about technology. He knows what an
technology
iPad
is the way to the media's heart or something?
Yeah.
Such a good line.
I'm a big nerd. Like I love technology. I love video games, and I have like a weird problem that I feel like mixed about selling my old video games back to the stores.
Right.
Like I still have like Urban Champion and Balloon Fight, my early Nintendo games. I just feel like they've been with me this long that it just feels weird to get rid of them.
It's like it's the weird it's a weird hoarding kind of thing. Where you're like, look, at one time my friend might be over and I might want to pull out the Balloon Fight.
We might want to play Night Trap from the Sega CD system.
Oh, did you have that?
I did have that.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I had like a little notepad and I would like write down the times when guys.
At 4 minutes and 37 seconds, that auger is going to come down the hallway, and I'm going to get him in the glass trap. Dana Plato.
Yeah, she was in it. How could you? And Sewer Rat was the other one that
Sewer Shark.
Sewer Shark. Yeah, you had to hunt rats. Yeah, this is what I hold on to. This is what I hold on to.
I love it. Now, how much geometry do you remember? Like how much geography and how much?
No, that's the
out
stuff
the
with
window.
squares and circles, right?
I think so. Yeah. You remember the codes for Sewer Shark, though. It's always good to see you on the big screen as well. I mean, Foot Fist Way was just a monumental film in my eyes, and you were incredible in it. But even in your cameos, you steal everything. And you're in Due Date, which is coming out very soon now.
Comes out Friday, yeah.
How did it feel to steal that movie from everybody, from the Robert Downeys and the Zach Galifianakis?
I think that's impossible to do. You know, Todd had.
Why'd you just wink? You just winked. You just winked and pointed your eye as you were saying that. It's impossible to do.
That's really hard to do. Todd Phillips, the director, had just called me and asked if I wanted to come and do 2 days on this. And when I heard Downey and Zach were in it, I mean, those guys are incredible, and Todd's obviously awesome. So it was cool just to go in there and just make dirty jokes with those dudes for 2 days and get out. It's not a bad way to spend a weekend.
I bet. And any notes? We're out of time, but any tidbits on the finale for Sunday? Anything going on?
I'll just say the story is not over yet. There's more to come.
Okay, I know. Congrats. Season 3 got picked up. Is this going to turn into Lost, though, where you guys got to invent a smoke monster and you're pitching against another island or something?
We finally hooked the smoke monster up next season.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I'll still watch. Danny, pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on. Danny McBride, everybody. I love you, Katie Powers. Catch the finale of Eastbound and Down on HBO this Sunday. And now over to Allison.
Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch is on the way, and you'll see the AOTS exclusive trailer when we come back. Woo!
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new AOTS, actress Rebecca Hazelwood from Outsourced will be here live in studio to sell us novelty items. Then Blair Herter sits down with Zach Galifianakis to find out when the actor's due date is and if he's bringing the man perm back into style. And Adam Sessler reviews the Xbox 360's new motion-controlling device, the Kinect, on Game Break. See it tomorrow. I love you, Katie Powers. All right, folks, we've been threatening it all show long, and now the time has finally come.
Here's the AOTS exclusive trailer for Sucker Punch.
I lost everyone I've ever loved. Then they locked me away, with nowhere to hide from the pain.
Armed guards everywhere. And if Blue finds out, we're dead. We're already dead.
You're afraid. Don't be. To reach your own paradise. Just let go. What you're imagining right now, you control this world.
What are you looking for?
A way out.
I'm going to help you to be free. You will need to find 5 items. The first is a map. Then fire. Then a knife. And a key. The 5th thing is a mystery. Begin your journey. It will set you free.
He knows what we're doing. It's the only way we can get out of here.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Good. I said at Comic-Con I had seen a bunch of footage. Zach came and showed it off on a laptop,
Right.
and I was like, it seems like it was just you in a toy chest playing with toys and going, oh, let's take every cool moment from a video game ever and mash them up into one film. And I meant that in the best possible way, and I hope now you kind of see what I was talking about. Cyborgs and dragons and swords and guns and
hot chicks.
Oh, yeah, that
Like,
too.
it's a whole movie
That
of
too.
hot chicks.
I'm all right with that.
Kicking ass.
Thanks to our guests, Danny McBride,
Yes.
Judge Jim Gray, Chris Hardwick, Blair Herter. A very special thanks to Ted Pillman for his very special performance. You can check out all of his amazing work by looking up YouTube user Branston A. And of course, thanks to Miss Allison Aislip.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, you're very welcome. You're very
Thanks to my parents.
Thanks to Allison's parents for being here. An all-new Campus PD starts right now, and they're going to stick around and watch it because they love the Campus PD. The Hayslips love
They
the
do.
Campus PD.
I don't even think they know what that show is, to be honest with you. They're like, there's another show that comes on after your show? Yes. Campus PD.
Coming up on the next AOTS.
Actress Rebecca Hazelwood from Outsourced will be here live in studio to sell us novelty items. Then Blair Herter sits down with Zach Galifianakis to find out when the actor's due date is and if he's bringing the man perm back into style. And Adam Sessler reviews the Xbox 360's new motion-controlling device, the Kinect, on Game Break. See it on the next AOTS.
I love you, Katie Powers. All right, folks, we've been threatening it all show long, and now the time has finally come.
Here's the AOTS exclusive trailer for Sucker Punch.
I lost everyone I've ever loved. Then they locked me away, with nowhere to hide from the pain. I need to get out. I'm gonna escape from here.
There's armed guards everywhere. And if Blue finds out, we're dead.
We're already dead.
You're afraid, don't be. To reach your own paradise. Just let go. What you're imagining right now, you control this world.
What are you looking for?
A way out.
I'm going to help you to be free. You will need to find 5 items. The first is a map. Then fire. Then a knife. And a key. The 5th thing is a mystery. Begin your journey. It will set you free.
He knows what we're doing. It's the only way we can get out of here.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Wow. Am I right? Yeah! I mean, took everybody's breath away. The stunned silence just swept through the room.
We're all just staring
with
in awe.
that incredible footage. I saw it at Comic-Con. Zach had it on the old laptop and was showing it to me during commercial break. And when I came back, I said, it looks like you mashed up every video game that I love and you're just playing around and having fun. And
Right.
I mean that in the coolest way possible, because that movie looks amazing.
It's got dragons and cyborgs and chicks who kick ass. What more could you want?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
let's be honest, that's what every movie
They
should
don't even
have.
need to kick ass. It just be there.
Just be there.
Hot chicks. Thank
All
you.
right, for all the things you saw today and more, go to g4tv.com/AOTS.
Time to hand out some thank yous. Thanks to our guest, Danny McBride, everybody. So good. Judge Jim Gray.
That's the second one.
Also so good. Chris Hardwick, always good. Blair Herter.
4. That's a lot of things.
I'm kidding. I love you, Blair. And a very special thanks to Ted Tillman for his special performance. Check out his work by looking up YouTube user Branston A. And you have yourselves a hell of a night. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.